Yo, what's up guys, how's everyone doing? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about Bitcoin's trend and breaking down what I'm seeing for you guys on this chart right now. This is going to be a bit of a shorter video, thank God for that. But I've also put out an exclusive Telegram video, so that is breaking down a Litecoin trade that I made. I kept all of my free Telegram users as well as VIPs updated on where I entered, and that position is currently in the 20% profit. So if you have missed out on that, don't miss out on the next one. Hit up that link in the description down below, and you'll also get access to the exclusive video I made where I broke down why I entered that Litecoin trade. It's 12 minutes long, very, very in-depth analysis. It's the kind of thing I do for VIP members only, so check that out if you are interested. Now let's break down what happened with Bitcoin. First of all, if we replay this chart a little bit, it honestly did surprise me how this has played out. So, when we were looking at the chart back here, even before this, to be honest, I think it was quite clear to all of us that this was just going to be a bit of a BART pattern. And so what I told you might happen is that we would trade kind of sideways like this for a little bit, and then we would just break down. This is what a lot of people have been expecting for Bitcoin. However, what actually happened was quite different to that. Because if we play this chart now, we actually started trending lower. And so as you know, when we have started an uptrend, and we don't know if we started an uptrend, but if we have, and again, we don't know that, but if we have, the trend is upwards. And what would have happened with this trend now, a bit more clear on the 4-hour, is that we keep on setting lower lows and at the same time lower highs, with this one exception. And so when we keep on testing the lower levels, when our trend is upwards, that's actually what we call a falling wedge, obviously, and so that means we're fighting the trend which is up, and eventually that trend has to resume. So that is exactly what happened. It went down to the 618 Fibonacci line, which I've been talking to you about since probably December, late December, I don't even remember. But this is a significant level because it is where the initial capitulation for Bitcoin ended, right where my crosshair is right now. And so to see that Bitcoin bounced off this level in particular is not surprising. To see that it trended this low and then bounced up higher is not surprising at all. This is actually partly why I entered my Litecoin position. You need to watch that exclusive video to get the full information on it. It is really good educational content. But we did hit this low. What I did mention, I'm going to go over it very briefly, is that the bots looked to test the lows. The bots tested the highs. The highs got rejected. The lows got rejected because we're starting to trade back up into the sideways range now. If I show this to you with a nice little box, we're starting to get back into this kind of green box, and trading within this range does put us back into the territory of just pure bot movements. CryptoKirby was talking about this in one of his recent videos, so check that out. And so we look to have gotten back into this range now. What that's telling me is that we still have some potential to carry on higher. It is good to see a support being tested and confirmed as being support once again. That is always a good sign, especially to see that we were getting rejected or just trading weirdly around this range before. So to see it acting as support almost, within an accuracy of about $3, of course, you've got to bear in mind I may have drawn this Fibonacci wrong as well, so it's pretty damn accurate. To see that we've gotten some support there is a good sign. Now, there are a lot of very bearish charts, a lot of very bearish analysts at this point, saying that we have basically just set a new lower high. And you know what? It does make a lot of sense, but I really am feeling that moon boy within me awakening now. I'm feeling that moon boy within me getting up from the dust, the nuclear dust, shaking that shit off, putting on a full-out suit, and emerging in this wasteland. I really am feeling like we're going to hit $5,000 now. And this is a feeling that only came to me basically last night, where I was thinking of what would be the next move that people would find really unexpected, because what we've had within this trend is we just kind of trended sideways since we hit this level, and we're not really doing anything interesting. And so we've got two camps right now, which is that we potentially go up to, say, 3,700 and we get rejected, or we just go down now and we set a new low and we break the low that we established back here. That's pretty much it. We don't have anyone saying that we're going to trend significantly higher and that we're going to pretty much start a new trend now, and then trade within a much bigger range than we expect to trade in right now. We don't have anyone saying that right now, and when we do consider that we did bounce off an area of support, I'm not ruling it out. I'm really not. We do have the massive Ichimoku cloud on the one day. I'll show you that. And so the possibility of 5k is actually quite slim when we look at this, because oh, my bad. Okay, well, that ends exactly at 5k, so sorry about that. So there you go then. with an Ichimoku cloud, we can typically trade within the cloud, or a good point to get rejected is right at the top of the cloud or right at the bottom of the cloud, and then of course within, so basically anywhere. But the chances of getting rejected at the bottom of a cloud and at the top are significantly higher than just within a cloud. And so these are always levels to go short. If you were to day trade, for example, if I were to day trade, I would place my short orders at these kinds of levels. And so, just to consider, if we were to go up and trade within the $4,000 range for a few days or weeks, I don't think that would surprise me at all. At this point, there are too many people that are too polarized one way or the other. And I don't like going against the analysts that I tend to respect quite a lot. A lot of the analysts that I'm watching right now that I'm keeping track of are quite bearish, and so I do get a little bit uncomfortable when I'm going against them. But it usually turns out to work out in my favor. So I'm not saying I'm going long on Bitcoin right now, but I am starting to really acknowledge that we could start to see higher levels. However, at the same time, we've got a lot of talk about these moving averages. So if I pull up the 21 moving average, Alessio Rastani was showing this, so check out his video as well. You guys know I love to throw attention to other YouTubers who deserve it. Go over to the weekly. This is not the right chart. Go to the weekly Litecoin chart. And I'm supposed to be on Litecoin USD. My bad. Looking at the Coinbase chart, and oh, this is weird. This is not what I don't know what I was thinking of there. But anyway, there was a moving average, a very prevalent moving average. I think it was Alessio showing the MT4 chart where the weekend data is excluded, but I can't pull that up as far as I know. Yeah, I don't even know how you do that. But it would remove all of the weekend trading, and I'm pretty sure that meant that there was a rejection of the 21 moving average. There are a lot of quite bearish signs. That check out the EMA. Yeah, so this is a pretty hefty area of resistance. It was previously, this is not too easy to gauge, but it was previously support. It's not very reliable though. But either way, we have got weekly resistance on the EMA, right where I said that we basically got no resistance at all. We are on the Coinbase USD chart, but the Bitcoin chart is a little bit different. Let's take a look at that on Bittrex and see what's up there. Okay, so we've got potentially a bit of support. Very, very different charts when we switch to USD and Bitcoin. I was covering this in a video. I'm not too sure if that was a public video or not. But there are a lot of bearish signs on Litecoin. I just can't seem to find them right now, and I didn't bother to find them before getting behind the mic. But it does tell us that potentially Litecoin is ready to go lower. Of course, Bitcoin, like I said, may have just set a new lower high. So far, there has been no follow-through on this. The good news is we have got some EMA support now. Let's check out the Ichimoku cloud on the 4-hour, although, like I said, it's not very reliable. Yeah, so like I told you, this little sideways thing could turn into a bit of support, and it has. We weirdly bounced off the Ichi resistance, which is just not something you see very often. If we do start to trade sideways for a little bit longer and say we start to ascend just very slightly, we are going to build the support level, and so only within a matter of days, we're on the 12th of February right now, only within the next 6-7 days will we potentially be interacting with the support. And so if this does go on for another week, I think there is a decent chance that we would at least end up testing this downward resistance line, and then from there we can start to eye levels like 4,000 and 4,200. So right now what we do have is just a continuation of the trend we were previously in. Again, I think this box is really what we need to be looking at. Dropping below this meant that we fairly quickly went back up into this trading range, and going up, leaving this box from the top also meant that we were quite quickly sent back down. And so this looks to be a bit of a magnet zone right now. And when it is in this zone, it's all about seeing where the bots are trying to test levels and then potentially anticipating the next direction. Now, doing that kind of anticipation is very, very high risk. I don't trade those things, as you know. You're trading against bots that are designed to screw you over, so why would you why would you bother? You can't outsmart a bot. And so I'm just going to be waiting to see what happens from here. Both kind of situations look, I think, quite equal in terms of how likely they are to happen. That would kind of place me around the neutral zone, but I do think potentially moving on a little bit higher is definitely on the cards. We've got a lot of very bullish altcoin setups, but at the same time, as I have told but unfortunately not demonstrated for you, there is a lot of resistance as well. Let's take a look at the daily on ADA. Okay, so this is a nice Ichimoku cloud. This is on the daily, so this is pretty significant. If ADA can test these higher levels a little bit, take this off and wait for this chart to correct. It's not even doing that, is it? I don't even know why it's so skewed right now. But if ADA can, oh right, it's because of that Ichi cloud. If ADA can start to trade a little bit higher, and then carry on for a good period of time, we're talking about a week, maybe a little bit more, I think it's got a decent chance of bouncing off this support quite nicely. So, these are things to be keeping an eye on right now. We may have seen a potential, I mean, look at that. If Tron were to fall down to the 382 level now, a level which it has previously respected, and if it were to do it, say, within the next week, it's got a really nice support cloud. And so, what happens with these trends is it's just really obvious the way it's going to happen. I mean, if you start an uptrend, you're suddenly going to see all the indicators flip to being bullish. We are still in a downtrend, and you need to keep that in mind. I mean, we don't have a bullish Ichimoku cloud on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is the big guy in this space. Everything is going to obey what Bitcoin does, with only very few minor exceptions that aren't relevant. And Bitcoin, for the macro picture, is still quite bearish, obviously. But I'm not ruling off. I'm not ruling out Bitcoin doing something quite spectacular now. It really wouldn't be expected, and you do get big moves like this. I mean, it's not unheard of to get big moves in the market where you potentially start to test higher levels like this, and then get sent down and maybe trade sideways or something. And just something a little bit more interesting than what we've already had does happen. We've got some volatility indexes telling us that we are bullish for the month of February, and that volatility is starting to return into the market now. And when these things do come in and they line up so well like this, to round it off, I'm not keeping my mind closed. I am very much open to all of these possibilities right now, and I'm just waiting to see which one of these situations actually play out. Now, as you do know, I will be notifying VIP members when I do exit my positions, when I do enter them. It is very rare that I share trades in gold, but as you have seen, I did share my Litecoin trade. This is from a different trade, but this person said that he made huge profits. Again, this guy wasn't in VIP, though a lot of people in the free channels have been generating some nice profits now. But that basically rounds everything off. If you missed my previous video, which was uploaded yesterday, I was talking about the fundamentals of Bitcoin. Check that video out if you haven't already. I'm going to be replying to all of the comments on that video very, very shortly. Hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure you hit up that subscribe button and also tick the bell so it'll notify you anytime I upload a video. These videos are very timely, so you want to get them as soon as possible. If you have enjoyed this one and you want some more content from me, go ahead and expand the description. Click on the first link in the description. It'll take you to my Telegram channel, completely free, no sign up process. Click on it. It'll look something a little bit like this. Hit allow, and then click on the @4flies button to send me a message if you do want to join VIP as well. You'll get access to all of my updates. You'll see what trades I'm entering, and of course get exclusive VIP videos as well. Hope you have enjoyed this one. Cheers.